Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Chaline Nivasesha Sunya Hari Pashtatara Satarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Okay, a few devotees coming in. Hare Krishna. Okay, let me just letting devotees in. Second. So share screen. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Bhagavad Gita. There you go. Hare Krishna. Still devotees coming in. Okay, you can see.
Yeah.
You can see in here. Okay, we're all ready to go. Hare Krishna. Okay, Mother Bongoji, you have your hand up raised, enthusiastic to read. Please go ahead.
Okay.
Text 20.
Text 20.
20.
Aham Atma Gudekesha Sarvabhutasraya Shtihitaha Aham Adischa Madhyam Cha Bhutanam Anta Eva Cha. Translation: I'm the Super Soul, O Arjuna, seated in the heart of all living entities. I'm the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. Purport: in this verse, Arjuna is addressed as Gudakesha, which means one who has conquered the darkness of sleep. For those who are sleeping in the darkness of ignorance, it is not possible to understand how the Supreme Personality of Godhead manifests himself in various ways in the material and spiritual world. Thus, this address by Krishna to Arjuna is significant. Because Arjuna is above such darkness, the personality of Godhead agrees to describe his various opulences. Krishna first informs Arjuna that he is the soul of the entire cosmic manifestation by dint of his primary expansion. Before the material creation, the Supreme Lord, by his planetary expansion, accepted the Purusha incarnation, and from him everything begins. Therefore, he is Atma, the soul of the Mahatattva, the universal elements. The total material energy is not the cause of the creation. Actually, the Mahavishnu entered into the Mahatattva, the total material energy. He is the soul. When Mahavishnu entered into the manifested universes, he again manifests himself as the super soul in each and every entity. We have experienced that the personal body of the living entity exists due to the presence of the spiritual spark. Without the existence of the spiritual spark, the body cannot develop. Similarly, the material manifestation cannot develop unless the Supreme Soul, Krishna, enters. And as stated in the Subala Upanishad, Prakti Adi Sarva Bhuttanantaryami Sarva Sheshi Cha Narayana. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is existing as the Super Soul in all manifested universes. The Purusha avatar are described in Srimad Bhagavatam. They are also described in the Sattvata Tantra. Vishnu tu Trini Rupani Purusha Shakhyani Atho Viduhu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead manifests three features as Krishna Dakshaya Vishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. In this material manifestation, the Mahavishnu or Karanadakshaya Vishnu is described in the Brahma Samhita 547. Yaha Karanar va Jale Bhajati Sma Yoganindram. The Supreme Lord Krishna, the cause of all causes, lies down in the cosmic ocean of Mahavishnu. Therefore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the beginning of this universe, the maintainer of the universe, manifestation, and the end of all energy.
Oh, okay. Hare Krishna. So, any immediate curiosities or questions?
So, without a soul, we can't develop.
Yeah, obviously. Means we're dead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he came to bring that spark and give it to everyone to give life, no?
Say again, he came to?
And somewhere here was saying that he was first born in this material world so he can, how you say, give procreation to give life.
Yeah. In other words, what's being said here, he is the active principle. So just like the soul, John, just like within the body, there's an active principle on which consciousness then manifests, and then activity manifests, and then growth manifests, and then procreation, etc., etc. That's all because of the presence of the soul within the material body. So similarly, within the material cosmic manifestation, its actual source of life is the energy of the Supreme Lord. And that's why Prabhupada here is speaking about the Purusha avatars, because that's actually the scientific description of how God pervades, controls, and manifests the whole of creation. It's through these Purusha incarnations. So, yeah, as much as we are not, there is no life without the soul. We are essentially the soul. So, similarly, the whole cosmic manifestation, in that sense, it's a wonder. So, this is why it's a vibhuti of the Lord. Like the cosmic manifestation is a wonder. Yeah? Planet Earth is a wonder. Yeah? And all the planetary systems and their orbits and their moving, and also the dissolution, which the material scientists cannot fathom, but there will be a dissolution and then a creation again. The active principle is Krishna, but he's unseen, as described. I think the previous verse said, if someone is quite, this is covered for those who do not have the right attitude. So he's covered by his Yoga Maya potency. So although he's everywhere and everything is in motion because of his potency, people cannot see. He remains, as I think Queen Kunti prays, just like an actor dressed as a player cannot be seen. Yeah, if they're a good actor, then it may not be recognized. So yeah, so that's why Prabhupada is elaborating here on this phenomena. Yeah. So he's a super soul. I don't know if that answered your question. I tried to.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, and also for your interest as well, you see the word Krishna addresses Arjuna, addresses Krishna as Gaudakesha. This comes up elsewhere as well. He's addressed as Gaudakesha, which means one who has conquered the darkness of sleep. So I think it's described that in that regard that Arjuna is addressed as Gaudakesha. Let's get that right, yeah? Arjuna is addressed as Gaudakesha. So Krishna is speaking to Arjuna as Gaudakesha, because Arjuna did not, whether he didn't sleep at all, I don't know, but it's described he would not sleep at night because he would be practicing his archery at night. Yeah, he'd be practicing by hearing sound. He would go to the forest, and when he hear a rustle of leaves or hear sound, in the darkness of night, he would fire his arrows to a practice. So he was very enthusiastic disciple of Dronacharya, yeah, and his favorite disciple. So Arjuna also, when he would sleep, he would always be chanting. When he was supposedly asleep, he'd be chanting Krishna's holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We should try that. Probably some of you might be doing already. Isn't it? When you lie down to go to sleep, there's a whole mixture of, there's a whole, what you call, kaleidoscope of the day's activities the previous stage, just goes, you kind of, the soul becomes witness to the mind, you know. So it's good to try and steady the unsteady mind by chanting the Maha Mantra when we're sleeping, just like Arjuna. Yeah. So hopefully we can drift into some, if we're going to drift into dreams, let's drift into Krishna conscious dreams. Yeah. Sorry, I'm going off the track here, but I was just reading in one book called the Brahma Sutras, and there's a section which speaks about dreams and what they are exactly. It's quite interesting. But one part it speaks of is that when one is sleeping, that's when one is in union with the Lord within the heart, because everything else is shut down. All the other centers by which you interact with the world are shut down. So you're kind of lying there with the Supersoul, if this makes sense. It's quite deep to try and understand. So that's one of the reasons why you feel refreshed when you wake up and ready to go again, because externally you've been closed down and you're in a state where you're, you know, in some type of union or closeness with the Supersoul. Anyway, so you can think of that tonight when you're going to sleep. All right, Hare Krishna. But any other points you want to bring out here? So Krishna, this is Vibhutis now. Krishna's speaking about how he's represented in the material world. And everything won't be described, only those that are prominent. I was looking back, so I thought we was on 19. But interesting, it says here, where did I see that? Yeah. Yeah, he's not going to tell about everything. He's not going to tell about what was used as, was it? Let me find it. I can't find it. No, it's not. Everything's not going to be described here because it's just not possible. But only those that are prominent, you know. So, all right. Any other questions or curiosities here? He's a super soul. That's spoken of as well in the 15th chapter in a number of places. Situated within the heart. There's good conscience. The Lord is always trying to direct us to do to good. Super soul. He's situated in the hearts of all living entities. Sarva Bhuta, all living entities. Right? Anyone in touch with the super soul?
He's in touch with us, though.
Yeah, he's in touch with us, but yes, a good point. He's in touch with us, but we're otherwise distracted by the toys of the material world, you know. Just like children, Mother Gayatri, you must know, when you're children, they often lose track of time. They're so distracted by playing, even though you lose track of when they should eat. So you have to keep an eye on them, you know. So similarly, I mean, that's why persons, serious yogis, they try, you know, they shut down everything external. They go to Himalayas and they try to tune in to the Lord within the heart. Yeah. They don't look for the truth externally. They look for the truth internally. Yeah. They're looking internally for the truth. Yes, sorry. Mother Chandravali.
Yeah, I mean, the super soul is reciprocating with you, but it's us who are not understanding. At times you have questions in your head or puzzled about something, and then from within you kind of get the answer, and then you then ask that question to somebody senior, and you get the same reply that you felt, which is coming from the soul.
That's a nice experience, especially when the seniors give the same answer. Sometimes it may be different.
Yeah. Or else
but yes, no, yeah.
You feel like, okay, you you open the book and you get to that point where you wanted to understand that bit, and it just comes up, you know?
Yeah. It's actually, if we was fully aware of all the times that the Lord within our heart had given us good guidance, we'd probably be quite overwhelmed with appreciation and devotion that we couldn't function. But yeah, so it's just like a student putting their hand up and inquiring from the teacher. So we also do the same thing. It's very subtle. Even where do we put the keys? Where do we leave the car? All these questions, it's like questions all being answered by the grace of the Supersoul. Without that, we couldn't remember anything. We wouldn't be able to remember anything. And as without the grace of God, then I was watching one video caught my attention, my YouTube distraction. But it caught my attention. This man, I was looking on videos on learning slokas and memorization and techniques like that. And I came across, it just happened up this video of this man who had an attention span of 3 seconds.
Less than a fish.
Yeah. And it showed a video of him. My God, he couldn't remember it. Although interestingly, because this was a progressive disease, something happened. But so before it happened, he could play the piano. So he plays the piano. He can still remember, and he plays the piano. But he's got a wife, and he can't even remember who his wife is. His wife is there with him, and he can't remember who she is. It's
Sounds like Alzheimer.
well, I could say it's an aspect of Alzheimer, but just is highlighting only by the grace of God can we remember the name of our wife or husband. Because this man, he didn't, such karma, isn't it? Such karma. He couldn't literally anything. Even if he had a cup of tea or he was given a cup of tea 10 minutes, then he would forget it.
I used to have a client like that.
Oh my God, Krishna.
And we had to take care of her because she was drinking buckets of water.
Yeah.
So she needed to be in the house, and you need to be careful to not let her in the kitchen.
Yeah, so completely dependent. So yeah, so we, in one sense, we take it for granted these things, but the super soul within the heart, you know, if he wants to shut down the communication due to karmic reasons, then that may happen. But yeah, so Chanavadis has that experience where he gets, and that's the idea that the guru is supposed to say the same things as Krishna. That's the idea. It's supposed to be representative, via medium. Well, that's why we may not be able to tune into the super soul, but we can write a letter to our guru, and hopefully he'll answer. If he doesn't, then you have to rely on your God-given intelligence or the advice of the Vaishnavas. Anyway, so the Purusha avatars are described here. So what's the name of the Purusha avatars?
Karbo Dakshaya Vishnu.
Go on.
Karuna Dakshaya Vishnu.
Yeah.
And Karbo Dakshaya Vishnu.
Yeah, Karana Dakshaya, also known as, often
Mahavishnu.
It's another name for Mahavishnu, Karana Dakshaya Vishnu. Then that Vishnu manifests into Garbha Dakshaya Vishnu, super soul of the universe. Then Kishora Dakshaya Vishnu, the super soul in each individual jiva. Yeah. So quite a science, you know. The Bible is quite basic, no? In the beginning there was God, and this, but here it's described. All right, anything else we want to glean or pull out from here? Okay, so just a reminder that Arjuna is very eager to hear more and more about Krishna. So this is why he's asking, because these points have been made before, but Arjuna is very eager to hear more about Krishna and how he pervades all the universes. So, right,
I was thinking of something. You know, sometimes you going somewhere or driving or something, and you should have turned right or gone here or whatever, and you don't. You do what you want to do, and then or even in the house something, and then I've realized I should listen. I should, at the time I just say, oh, I thought about it. I should have done it like that. And as time goes on, you realize, well, somebody's telling me to do this. From now on, if thoughts are coming in, check them out. You know?
Yeah.
Because then the Supersoul is trying to tell you something, and
Yeah.
carry on doing what you want to do. And then you go wrong, and then you think, well, from now on, I will, if something is happening, I will listen. I will check it out at least, you know?
Yeah. So that to actually do that, we have to be strongly situated in a mode of goodness. If we're in a mode of passion, ignorance, it will be very difficult to hear that inner guidance. You know? And Krishna, you know, we have free will. So Krishna, from within our heart, will feel a conscience to do something. But if we're in a mode of passion, ignorance, and we're attached, then Krishna will let us do it and make mistakes. Yeah, okay, go on then. You know, and then we become entangled in the modes of material nature even more. So that's why it's good to organize our lives as much as we should be in a mode of goodness, be regulated. That's why it's good to be regulated, because if we're not regulated, then we're haphazard. You know, the day is haphazard, then our mind is haphazard. Then we may not hear that guidance that's coming within because we're too in the mode of passion. That's why, as much as possible, if we can be regulated, if our lifestyle is such that as possible, sometimes it may not be. You know, Hare Krishna. All right, let's read a bit more about the vibhutis of the Lord. Let me just read something from text 19, because this introduces these set of verses. And this is from Krishna Bhagavati Thakur. Oh, hunter, out of mercy. So this is an affectionate word that we use in text 19. I will tell you about these vibhutis. I will speak of the chief ones, because there is no end to their number. Vibhuttayaha is used for vibhuti, feminine, plural, accusative. I have no idea what that is. Sorry. Some Sanskrit grammar. These vibhutis are excellent, divya. These vibhutis are excellent. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. Not grass or bricks. Okay. The word vibhuti includes both material and spiritual manifestations of the powers of the Lord. Yeah, he said in 10:10, Aham Savarsha Pabhavo, because they all arise from the Shakti of the Lord. They should all be considered as worthy forms of the Lord for contemplation. So some are preferable to others. Yeah. Anyone know what the word pantheism means?
Pantheism?
Yeah, pantheism. Okay, so type it in Google.
Is it like many gods?
Yeah, that's it. It's basically we shouldn't misunderstand here when Krishna is explaining his vibhutis. Pantheism means that the universe, that everything is the God. So he has no separate identity, but everything is God. So sometimes this, when Krishna describing his vibhutis, some people, so it's a bit like Mayavad philosophy, pantheism. Yeah, everything is God. Yeah. The lamppost is God, but etc. etc. So here we shouldn't misunderstand that Krishna is explaining his shaktis which manifest from him, the person. So pantheism means you don't accept the person, you accept everything as God. So it's this type of Mayavadi. Yeah, Prabhupada mentioned that the word pantheism he mentioned in the purple back, Okay. So let's hear some more about the vibhutis of Krishna. And I'd like to read text 21.
Yeah, I can read.
Thank you, Mother.
Text 21, great. Adityas I Vishnur Jyoti Samraviram Suman Marici Marutamasmi Naksartranam Aham Sasi. Of the Adityas, I am Vishnu. Of lights, I am the radiant sun. Of the Maruts, I am Marici. And among the stars, I am the moon. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. There are 12 Adityas, of which Krishna is the principal. Among all the luminaries shining in the sky, the sun is the chief. And in the Brahma Samhita, the sun is accepted as the glowing eye of the Supreme Lord. There are 50 varieties of wind blowing in space, and of these winds, the controlling deity Marici represents Krishna. Among the stars, the moon is the most prominent at night, and thus the moon represents Krishna. It appears from this verse that the moon is one of the stars. Therefore, the stars that twinkle in the sky also reflect the light of the sun. The theory that there are many suns within the universe is not accepted by Vedic literature. The sun is one, and as by the reflection of the sun the moon illuminates, so also do the stars. Since Bhagavad Gita indicates herein that the moon is one of the stars, the twinkling stars are not suns, but are similar to the moon.
Okay, bit of cosmology here. Any curiosities here? Any questions?
Is Marici another name for Vayu?
Yeah, I was going to ask that question myself.
Yeah.
Because Marici is, there's also a name of Marici, the one who took the form of a golden deer. Is that right?
Oh, yes, the demon. Yeah.
Yeah, whether it's the same Marici, I don't know. I think perhaps not.
No.
But yeah, yeah, I'm not too sure. I don't know. Anyone could help us with that. But he's right. I mean, perhaps you're right. Did you hear that? Oh, it's mentioned, yeah, because it's mentioned about, I can see why you're asking that, because there are 50 varieties of wind blowing in space. And of these winds, the controlling deity, Marici, represents Krishna. I guess it must be Vayu then. Yeah. There's also wind blowing. There's life airs that manipulate within the body. Yeah, so Marici.
Yeah, Marici. It means rays of lights. Marici or Marici is the mind-born son of Brahma and one of the Saptarishis in Hindu mythology.
Oh, great. Okay.
He's also the son. He's also the father of Kashyapa and the grandfather of Devas and the Asuras.
Yeah, all right. So you can keep ready there, Madhumango Prabhu. So as we go through this, we can just quickly look up. And it's
Okay, yeah.
the Adityas, I am Vishnu of lights, I'm the radiant sun, that we can perhaps more relate to. He is the radiant sun. And among the stars, I am the moon. Okay.
So it's nothing to do with wind?
In the purple, it's mentioned about the wind.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Madhumangal is explaining it's not wind.
Oh, what did you say again?
What Madhumangal is explaining is it's completely a bit different here.
Yeah. What did you explain again about? Just say again, Madhumango. Excuse me.
So I will read again. There's another one, but it says Marici, one of the mind-born sons of Brahma, according to the Deva Bhagavata Purana, chapter of the Deva Yagya. They were created by the sheer power of mind. Marici has a son named Kashyapa. Marici refers to the rays according to Shiratama Tantra and expansion of the Kubjikamata Tantra, the earliest popular and most authorized tantra of the Kubija cult. According to the rays of the great lotus of the 16 spokes
All right,
are
all
the
right.
rays. So it keeps going more.
Yeah, I guess, okay. I guess let's just keep it simple. Yeah, as we can have a little dive in. Some of this might be quite speculative as well. But anyway, the main thing is let's appreciate the phenomena of the sun, say, and the moon. Yeah, these are all manifestations of Krishna's Shakti. So hopefully next time we see the full moon, even, we can meditate. It's representing Krishna. Okay, yeah, the sun is one, and by the reflection of the sun, the moon illuminates. Yes, Hare Krishna. So, okay, let's have a look at 1022. This looks... Oh, Indra is mentioned here. Okay. I'll have a read of this quickly. Vedanam Samo Vedosmi Devanam Ashmi Vasavaha Indriyanam Manaschashmai Bhutanam Ashmi Chetanaha. Okay. Of the Vedas, I am the Sama Veda. Of the demigods, I am Indra, the king of heaven. Of the senses, I am the mind, and in living beings, I am the living force, consciousness. The difference between matter and spirit is that matter has no consciousness like the living entity. Therefore, this consciousness is supreme and eternal. Consciousness cannot be produced by a combination of matter. So this is one of Prabhupada's Mahavakyas, one of his preaching strategies, to defeat the modern theory, modern scientific theory, that life comes from matter. Okay, Prabhupada would never tire speaking against this principle, But about the Sama Veda. Sama Veda is when Garuda is flapping his divine wings, then it's the sound of the Sama Veda. So the Sama Veda is mantras that are sung. Yeah, the Sama Veda. They're the same mantras in other Veda, but in Sama Veda, they're sung to these different, quite complicated melodies. And they're used during sacrifices, yagna. I was studying this subject one time doing yagna, and we was learning one Sama Veda. I mean, I give you a little taster. Unfortunately, I can't remember the whole thing. I haven't since practiced it. But it goes like one Veda. Ayai voitoya toya. It goes like that. And it's a mantra. It's a Vedic mantra, but it sounds... And there was about 6 or 7 of us all chanting like this. It is really nice, actually, when everyone gets it right. And there's 6 or 7. I have to be careful as well, because unless you sing the whole mantra, then it's an offense. So please forgive me. So that's an example of Sama Veda, yeah. So they're mantras which are sung very, would be sung by specific beings that are created to sing. Amazing. What's the name of those demigods who are created just to sing?
The Gandharvas?
Yeah, the Gandharvas. Amazing,
Yeah.
Their actual whole function, it must be beautiful singers, huh? And they're Gandharva, and they sing. I think it was Narada Muni was one such Is it no the money? He got
Yeah, he
cursed.
was a
He got a
Gandharva
Veena.
himself.
Yeah, he was a Gandharva.
He had a
And
Veena.
instead of singing about Krishna, he started singing some pop songs. Not pop songs, but songs glorifying the lesser demigods instead of glorifying the Lord. So he was cursed to become a Sudra. Okay, you act like Sudra, you become Sudra. Gone. Out of the heavenly planets. Down to earth. Yeah, so Sama Veda. Yeah, there's demigods that are born to dance as well. I think they're Gandharvas. Yeah. But they specifically dare to glorify the Lord, in the songs of the Vedas. All right. So of the Vedas, I'm the Sama Veda. Of the demigods, I'm Indra, the king of heaven. Of the senses, I am the mind. So the mind is the chief of all the senses, if you hadn't noticed. Yeah. So if you control the mind, then you control all the other lower subjects. The senses come under control. Yeah, they will follow. So that's the idea. Savaimana Krishna Pada Vindayo. If we can focus the mind on Krishna, then the other senses will come in line. Yeah. And he is the living force consciousness. Okay, so anyway, any questions or comments about this? The purple, anything? We could say a little bit here, but there's some very intelligent people who try to convince you that consciousness is just they don't even go there. A lot of scientists don't like to speak about consciousness, for obvious reasons, because they find it difficult to actually explain away. Yeah. And Prabhupada was a ingenious how he would point out the fallacy of the philosophy that consciousness comes from a combination of matter and it is nothing more than a material phenomena. Anyone can say how Prabhupada was simply challenged the scientist in what way he would do it, in many ways, but one specific way.
Shastra.
Like when
Go on.
when the soul leaves the body, when the body is not active anymore, it means that the soul has left.
Yeah. Yeah, so therefore, yeah, so that's the difference. Yeah, he would point out often. He would say, what's the difference between a live body and a dead body? Yeah. Unless the body's been involved in a tragic accident, it's all in pieces. But let's just say one dies what is called a natural death, if you can use that word. Then everything's there, but something's missing, the soul. But also he would describe, okay, so if consciousness comes from matter, then why don't you take the most simplest form of life? Or why don't you create a blade of grass?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you do it? Okay, life comes from chemicals and is a combination of chemicals.
Why don't you?
Yeah, so why don't you do that? Sasha. Yeah. Innocent people get befooled, especially if the persons are so-called learned. If they're learned and they're also, what's the other word? They're learned and they're charismatic in their presentation. People so become enamored, become convinced. Yeah, there's one atheistic philosopher, I won't mention his name, but he's describing that free will is an illusion. There is no such thing as free will, And everyone heard of Jay Shetty? I'm sure you all have. Yeah, big. Yeah, he's a big person these days. Amazing. I was checking it. He actually interviewed the President of the United States, Biden.
And much more.
And much more. Pretty impressive. We've got to give it to him. It may not be exactly direct Krishna consciousness, but he's trying to bring people to sattvic principles. But anyway, he was interviewing this atheist. Sam Harris is his name, anyway, and he's a very reputed person. and he was speaking about free will. It's a shame Jay Shetty didn't just come out of it and told him, you nonsense. He was just accommodating him and hearing what he has to say and his views, you know. But anyway, we should be convinced so that we can convince others who are befooled by these so-called learned persons, you know. Sorry, I cut someone off.
I think we should change the word free will with reaping wherever we planted, pious activities, good or bad. Because it's not a free will, we just reap what we planted.
Now you're sounding like Sam Harris. No, but we always have free will.
In a way we do, but in a way it's everything is the Lord's hand. So wherever we do, good, bad, we will reap that. But we'll not, yeah.
Yeah, but this is what this atheist is saying, that there is no free will because according to your culture, according to your psychological makeup, you're going to do a certain thing. You don't have any independence. So it could say, like, according to we could say, following his argument, according to the modes of material nature, you're going to choose, you're going to do your thing. Yeah, so it's kind of, you don't have any free will, but we do. But the more we're encumbered and ensnared in the modes, the less free will we have. We're kind of restricted, but it still remains there. It still remains. You can choose. So your destiny arranges your situation, your karma. But what you do with that is up to you.
That's the free will, yeah.
It's according to your free will. Yeah, I give the example, just like someone is put in prison for burglary, you know, they're put in prison. And in the prison, often there's an open university, especially for the lifers, you know, they get an opportunity for education. So they have a choice. They can better themselves through education and get a few good points with the governor of the prison. Or they can just associate with other villains and learn more about how to do their criminal activities. So we're in the prison. Yeah, I mean, I won't go into details. I try not to, but I knew one person who was in prison and he was a burglar. He was a thief. And he couldn't believe it that he was in a prison library and there was all books on electronics and all things. So then he learned further how to break into houses and disengage alarm systems. And he learned it in prison. All these books in the prison library about electronics. Anyway, I'm going off the track here. Please forgive me. But the point is, you have free will. You can free will. So that free will arranges you to get to a situation. What you do with it is up to you. Go on, Mother Chandravali. So.
Doesn't Krishna also tell everything to Arjuna and then he sits back and he says, it's up to, I've told you this, now it's up to you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for giving it some sastric reference. Yeah. Now do as you like.
Yeah.
Now do as you wish. But he says to him that if you don't do as I'm telling, you will be lost, Arjuna.
Yeah.
You have free will.
Yeah.
We have free will. Like all of you had free will to click on today. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's your choice. Right, so,
but then Krishna inspire us and give us a bit of taste so we can come back.
Yeah, but still we can refuse to hear that.
We can refuse, yeah.
Yeah, like we may get distracted. It may be like 5 to 6, and then all of a sudden you get called to a pizza party.
And you'll go there.
And you're probably dying to eat a pizza. So then you may go to the pizza party instead.
The belly is strong.
Yeah, the senses may convince you otherwise.
Yeah. Krishna says, to the degree you surrender, to that degree he reciprocates. So surrender here. Yeah. So if we click on the right thing, okay, we could quite happily go in the other room and play with Gorari. No.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because everything is there. but we sometimes we don't know how to surrender. So that's why I think Guru and devotees are very good to help us to surrender.
Yeah, very good point, Mother Mongo. So that's, yeah, so often the medium between us and the super soul is quite mixed, there's quite a lot in between. So the message doesn't come through. So therefore we take the guidance of Guru, Sadhu, and Sastra to help us make the right decision. Yeah. But
It's easy, but it's hard.
Yeah, but free will we do have. That's what makes life, isn't it? That's what makes exchanges between one human and another. You have free will. That's what makes, without free will, we're just robots. Lumbering robots, some philosophers called, some materialistic philosophers. We're just nothing but lumbering robots. No, we're eternal servants of Krishna. All right, let's read text 23. Oh, my power's going out on my computer. I've got free will to plug it in. I'll do that. Hare Krishna. Right, someone like to read 23 for us? You have free will. Yeah, go ahead.
Rudranam Shankarashchashmi Vitesho Yaksha Rakshasam Vishnunam Pavakashchashmi Meru Sikharinamaham. Of all the Rudras, I am Lord Shiva. Of the Yakshas and Raksasas, I am the Lord of Wealth, Kuvera. Of the Vasus, I am fire, Agni, and of mountains, I am Meru. Should I read the purport?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
There are 11 Rudras, of whom Shankar, Lord Shiva, is predominant. He is the incarnation of the Supreme Lord in charge of the mode of ignorance in the universe. The leader of the Yakshas and Raksasas is Kuvera, the master treasurer of the demigods, and he is representation of the Supreme Lord Meru. Meru is a mountain famed for its rich natural resources.
Yeah, okay. All right, any questions here? The Rudras are, someone could, if they know something about this, the Rudras are expansions. Rudra means angry, actually. I think it means something like that. As we know, the expansions. One of them was Lord Shiva. It's quite a complicated tattva, actually. Yeah, Lord Shiva himself is transcendent. But his other expansions, that's what interacts with the material energy, as far as I understand. Yeah. So the 11 Rudras, that's spoken of in Bhagavatam, I forget where now, but it speaks about the Rudra expansions of Lord Shiva. And he's predominant among them. Yakshas and Rakshasas. Anyone can tell us something about the Rakshasas? What's their favorite meal?
Enjoying, who knows, alcohol.
No, their favorite meal is humans.
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 Yeah, that's their favorite choice on the menu.
Remember the story of when Kunti and her children were in exile, and they were in, is it Ekachakra?
Yeah,
Yes.
that was.
And then the neighbors were upset because they have to send their son with everything to this Hadimma demon, I think.
Yeah, Hidimbi, something like that.
Something like that. And then Kunti says, it's okay, my son Bhima will go.
And that's a wonderful story, how Bhima ate everything on the cart and then he killed the demon. So he was a Rakshasa. So Rakshasas are a species that specifically eat human flesh, gulp. So look out. Make sure you don't bump into any Rakshasas. Yeah. Who's a Ravan? He's a Rakshasa? No, is he classed as a Rakshasa? He was a Brahmin, no? Brahmin Rakshasa. I don't know if they exist. So Rakshasas, yeah. So there's sometimes there, I forget the complete story, but I was reading somewhere where someone might know the name. One sage was cursed to be a Rakshasa. Story in the Mahabharata, and quite a curse to get. He was a sage, and then he was cursed to be a Rakshasa. So then he started to feel an appetite and a desire to devour humans, specifically other sages. He was cursed to be a Rakshasa.
Is it one who invited two sages and one of them he ate and from within the stomach?
Yeah, I don't know I can vaguely remember that. Yeah, that's it.
You remember that as well, yes.
There's quite some fantastic stories there in the Vedas and the Mahabharata. And Rakshasas, Ram killed many Rakshasas as well, isn't it? And the Yaksas, the Yaksas was one of the Yaksas killed, or the Yaksas killed Dhruva Maharaj's brother. And then Dhruva Maharaj got very incensed by that. And he went to the place, this is in Bhagavatam, and he went to the region of the Himalayas, where some aspect of the Himalayas, which is perhaps out of grasp to ordinary humans, where these Yakshasas resided. And he slaughtered hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of these Yakshas for killing his brother. He's Dhruva. And that's interesting purport there, where Prabhupada says, it is wrong to think that pure devotees do not become angry. Huh. Interesting. Prabhupada says that there. So he became angry and was killing hundreds of thousands of these Yakshas. And then Brahma had to come down and preach to him. Basically, call it, man. Take it easy. Grab hold of yourself. Only one of them killed your brother. You're unnecessarily slaughtering thousands of Yakshas. And then Dhruva got himself together, and stopped killing them. So yeah, so the leader of the Yakshas and Rakshasas is Kuvera. Okay. All right. And anyone, Mount Meru is made of? Anyone can just tell us something about Mount Meru?
Is that not Kailash?
No, it's different.
Is that in Israel, Mount Meru?
Where?
In Israel, I know it's called Mount Meru.
No, I think that might be a different Mount Meru.
Meru.
Mount Meru, as far as I understand, is made of solid gold. Yeah. It's made of gold, and on top of Mount Meru, there's the planetary systems of the demigods. And it goes from, like a mountain normally goes from a great width to a point. It's the opposite way. And it's there throughout all the different universal systems. But we can't see it.
Yeah.
Yes, Mother Lavanga?
I just remembered that Prabhupada said the Rath cart was bigger than Mount Meru in the Rath Yatra in London that year he was there.
Yeah, that's Prabhupada's vision. Yeah. And also Prabhupada was on a plane flight, apparently. I don't know if I've got this story right. Might need to check it out. But he was on a plane flight and he was pointing to the devotees. You cannot see Meru, the golden mountain. So it's solid gold. And this is what they used to churn the if I'm right, the demigod demons used to churn the ocean of milk. They use Meru as the pivot for the churning. So these all represent, they give you an indication of the greatness of the Lord. Yeah. Representation of the Supreme Lord. So it's rich in natural resources. Yeah, Mount Meru. Okay. Good. Let's have a look some more vibhutis of the Lord, so we can identify something about each of these. Someone like to read 24? Now, usually readers are a bit quiet today.
Don't know.
Sahachari Mother, are you there? Or Soldami Radhika?
I'm there, but I haven't got my glasses on, so I'm just
Okay.
listening.
All right, no problem.
Well, why don't you put your glasses on?
Okay, let me go and put my glasses. Give me a minute.
Okay, let's give time to Mother Soldami Radhika to find her glasses.
Hey, Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I had a motto in Sudamni when I was the Girl Guide Ranger. Be prepared.
Be prepared. Okay.
That was our motto.
Yeah, bring your compass.
Today I'm in the listening mode.
Okay, no problem. You can, you know, you
No,
can.
I've got it. I've got it. I'm ready. I'm here. So if we're reading text 10,
24.
24. Yeah, 24. Puruda, that's the one, isn't it? Yeah.
Correct.
Purodasham cha mukyam mam vidhipartha brahaspatim senanim aham skanda sarasam asmin sagaraha.
Yeah.
Sagaraha. Of priests, O Arjuna, know me to be the chief Brhaspati. Of generals, I am Kartikeya. And of bodies of water, I am the ocean. Oh, that's Sagaraha on the top. Okay.
Yeah.
Purport. Sagar. Indra is the chief demigod of the heavenly planets and is known as the king of the heavens. The planet on which he reigns is called Indraloka. Brhaspati is Indra's priest. And since Indra is the chief of all kings, Brhaspati is the chief of all priests. And as Indra is the chief of all kings, similarly Skanda or Kartikeya, the son of Parvati and Lord Shiva, is the chief of all military commanders. And of all bodies of water, the ocean is the greatest. This representation of Krishna only gives a hint of his greatness.
Of his greatness, yes. Hare Krishna. So the universe points to the Supreme Lord. Yeah, it's like it's this great one. It's like an open book. The universe itself is like an is like an open book which one can see the greatness of God. Yeah. But so someone can tell us something about Brhaspati in the few minutes we have. Where does he make an appearance in the Bhagavatam? Brhaspati. He makes his appearance one or two or a few times in Bhagavatam.
But the
I'm
yagya,
just imagining, I'm just guessing, maybe perhaps he was at some yagya or something.
For
'Cause
sure. He's a Purohit.
I was thinking the same.
Yeah, so
Does he come in Daksha's yagya?
yeah, go on. I'm asking because I know he's in Bhagavatam, but I just cannot put the two together. That's why I'm asking as well. I forget myself. But
Is
yeah,
when Lord Siva came to Lord Shiva or came at the Lord Shiva yagya or something.
yeah. Now who's the no, that's Sukha Acharya. That's the pastime with Vamanadev, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's Sukha Acharya. So yeah, Brhaspati, he came into the assembly, isn't it? He came into assembly, and Indra, intoxicated by the atmosphere of heavenly enjoyment, then he didn't give any acknowledgement to his guru when he came in to the assembly, and he just left, you know. And so that was a big offense. That was an offense by Indra. So by that offense to the spiritual master, the demigods lost all their Shakti and prowess. and that was defeated by the demons. And the heavenly planets was ransacked by the demons. And then the pastime continues, where I think the mother of the demigods,
Aditi.
then she approaches the Lord. And what happens then, isn't it? She approaches the Lord, and the Lord gives her reassurance. Again, then the pastime continues, where the demigods again attain their position in the heavens.
I just googled it, and it is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, the story of the fortunate one. In Canto 9, Chapter 14, text 7. The great Indra, followed by all the different demigods, joined the spiritual master Brhaspati. The fight that ensued just because of Tara, Brhaspati's wife, brought great destruction over the Suras and the Asuras.
Okay, so the fight between the demons and the demigods.
Yeah.
There in Bhagavatam. Yeah, okay. All right. So Brhaspati. In generals, Kartikeya. So familiar with Kartikeya. He's the son of Parvati and Lord Shiva. Also, Ganesh is a son. Is that right?
Yes.
Ganesha. So Kartikeya is also a son of Parvati and Lord Shiva. The family. Okay, Kartikeya, Ganesh. Sometimes the deities like that. It's a family. Lord Shiva's family.
Murungan, yeah? Murungan, it's Kartikeya.
Yeah,
Okay.
Murugan.
Okay.
He's got 2 wives, Valli and Devyani. They are in South India, in Chennai, Tamil Nadu. He's very, very much worshipped by.
Okay, yeah. Excuse me. I mean,
There is a murti there. They do Abhishek. I don't know how many times per day. Constantly Abhishek to Lord Murungan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. So we know a bit more now. Hare Krishna. Okay, so let's pause here. We'll just pick it up tomorrow. We can continue looking at this, looking at the Lord's manifestation and his vibhutis. Okay. Yeah. So tomorrow he's a great sage Bhrigu. So Bhrigu, translated into arm, is a chanting of the holy names. Okay, let's pick it up tomorrow. Okay, thank you, devotees, for joining us today. So please, if you get time, and if you're free will, you got free will, you can join us tomorrow. Okay, as you're inspired. Okay, so thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Hare
you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Thank you. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Kripasinyo,
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna.